Hey everybody, it's Emily at Arc Schooling, and it's time to choose my January TBR. So if you're not familiar, my TBR jar is full. You can see there's a whole lot going on in here. It is full of prompts and things that will help me to choose things off my shelves, because I am on a mission to read my shelves, and this forces me to pick things up that I might not pick up otherwise. So, in addition to this, I have some other things I'm going to be adding to my TBR, but let's start here. So, as always, I'm going to choose 2 cards. So, 1 and, oh, I almost had it, 2. So I have 2 options because, as always, I'm a bit of a mood reader and I like having options. So let's see what we have here. Ooh, okay. My first choice is short story collections. Gosh, I have a lot. Okay. So that's a maybe. I don't know how I feel about reading a whole bunch of those in 1 month, though. Like, it's a good idea in theory, but in practice, I don't know. Ooh, or memoirs. I feel, I feel like I'm called more to short story collections because I do at least have one that I got recently that I really would like to pick up. So that, I think, is what I'm going to go with. So I guess I'm going to pick at least 1, if not more, short story collections to read this month. Oh, and let me talk about Buzzword. Now, I'm trying to do both the title and the cover for Buzzword. I don't know if I'm actually going to successfully pull that off because it feels like a lot, but I feel like if it becomes a burden, I'll just drop it to titles only and not worry about matching with the covers. But the title needs to be truth and lies, so one of those kinds of words, and then the cover needs to have some sort of a pattern on it. So I'm going to have to explore my shelves and see what I have that would fit that. Okay, I'm back. The lighting in here just got weird because I had to turn on a different light because it's getting dark out. This is taking me forever to film. But I think I pulled it together. So before I get into what's in my TBR, I want to talk about what the ARG Book Club is reading in the month of January. We will be reading and kicking off our reading year with The Small and the Mighty by Sharon McMahon. I'm super excited about this. I've heard so many people raving about this book. I love Sharon McMahon. I've been following her online for years, and I'm excited to get to read this with you guys. This is nonfiction, and it is a collection of stories about people who are maybe lesser known, not unknown, but just lesser known figures in history who were just ordinary people who said, hey, I don't like what's happening, and did something to change that. So it feels very relevant for our times, and this is just something that I've been looking forward to reading. So I'm excited to read it with all of you and Tanya. So we're going to be reading this all month, and then Tanya and I will meet on, I think, the first Saturday in February. I haven't even looked to see what day that is yet. Well, I'll get back to you on that for certain, but that's about when we're going to meet to have our live discussion, which you can join in and participate and add to the conversation. We love that. So I hope you will read along with us. All right, let's talk about my TBR. So I pulled short story collections, and I have 3 that I would like to try to get to. First up, I have The Darkest Night, Chilling Stories from the Biggest Names in Horror. This is a collection of short stories that are all set like in the winter, to do with winter solstice, winter time. And there are so many authors in here that I have read and loved, and I'm just really interested in reading this collection right now. And it just feels like the right time to do it. So I'm going to try to make that happen. And I have Love After the End. This is an anthology of two-spirit and indigiqueer speculative fiction edited by Joshua Whitehead. I pulled this off I've had this for so long, like at least 2 years. And I would very much like to read it because this will hit 2 of my Build Your Library Reading Challenge prompts. This is a collection of Indigenous authors, and it is also some trans authors. So this will fit both of those prompts. And then this one also fits for the Buzzword Reading Challenge for January, for the title, because it is That Way Madness Lies. The challenge this month is Truth or Lies. So this is reimagined Shakespeare stories. And it's like a collection of YA authors all writing about different Shakespeare plays and giving their interpretation. I've already read one of them from this book, and I enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. Next, I wanted to find a book that would fit for the Buzzword cover, because I'm trying to do both. And the cover challenge is to find a book with pattern on the cover, some kind of pattern. I didn't realize this was going to be so tough, but I have an option. Actually, I have 2 options, but this is the one I think I'm going to end up going with, but we'll see. I have The Bone People. This is by Carrie Holm, and I'm planning on reading this because it was in my pile for the Build Your Library Self-Education World Cultures Part 2 unit I'm going to be working on this month. This is set in Australia. It's about the Aboriginal Indigenous peoples of Australia. I don't really know too much more about it, besides this is like an award-winning book as well. It says it's a winner of the Booker Prize, so this will also hit. Reading a book that has won an award for the Build Your Library Reading Challenge. I'm kicking off the year with like hitting as many challenges as I can. I'm also hoping to get to All Better Now. This is the ARC copy I got. This is by Neil Shusterman. It's his newest release. It comes out in February, and I am so excited to read it. This is sort of like, what if there was a virus that if you survive this illness, you become perfectly content. Everything in your life just is better. Your outlook on life is better. And people are excited about this. Like, finally, we can like fix all of our problems because now we're happy and content. However, then you have the other side of that equation where you have like corporations and businesses that are like, well, we need people to feel bad about themselves to buy our product. So we don't want them to feel content and perfect. So what if we did stop people from getting this by giving them a vaccine? Well, we'll fix this illness so that people won't do that anymore. So you're following like a group of teenagers who are all experiencing this virus in different ways. And I'm so curious about this book. So I'm hoping to make that happen this month. And Regina and I are going to be reading Scythe. I am so excited to read this with her. I feel like she's going to love it. But whenever I say that, I end up being very wrong. It's like she's determined to not like things that I like. But how can you not like Scythe? Like, I feel like she's going to love this. I'm so excited to read it again, too. I'm really hoping that she likes this enough that we can continue, because I've been like very much in the mood to reread the entirety of the Arc of the Scythe series. Also, I just heard that Neil Shusterman is working on a prequel, which honestly, I feel like Unwind is the prequel, but I'll take a new story set in this universe. So like I'm very curious as to what his prequel will be. So anyway, we're reading Scythe this month. I need to pick what I'm going to be reading for my 5-star predictions. I made a video, if you want to check that out, where I made some predictions about what books I think I will give 5 stars to. And I picked books off my shelves. Oop, this one wants me to choose it. And so I put them in a jar, and I'm going to pick one every month. There are 12 altogether, obviously, if I'm going to pick one a month. And this month, I will be reading... Seriously? That could not have worked out better. That could not have been better, like, if I had literally planned it that way. As I was putting these in the jar, I thought, what if I pulled that? Wouldn't that be cool? And that is We Must Not Think of Ourselves by Lauren Grodstein. I have been dying to read this. Like, this has been staring at me for months, and I keep saying I'm going to put it in my TBR, but I just haven't had time. So January is the time. This is a story about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which is a moment in history that I've always been really fascinated by, interested in, like the Holocaust in general, but specifically Jewish resistance and uprisings and things like that. So that's what this book is. I'm expecting it to hit me really hard. I'm expecting to cry a lot, and I'm expecting to give this 5 stars. So I'll report back. I'm going to be reading some other things as well. I have other projects I'm working on. I'm making a video at some point this month in which my kids pick my TBR, and I'm going to be reading so much manga because that is the bulk of what they read, and that's what they are planning on making me read. And I'm stressed about it because I struggle hard with manga. It took me forever to get into graphic novels. And manga is like graphic novels, but backwards. So, like, it's gonna be hard, but I think I can do it. So yeah, that's what I'll be reading in January. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you are reading anything exciting this month, or if you've read any of these books and you're like, Emily, read this first. I would love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.